Hello, everyone. Coming up here on the Pro Wrestling Show presents the NXT Ring Report. As you see right here in the background, you'll see Obi Femi taking on LFG Season 1 winner Jasper Troy. Jasper Troy, who just came out of Rival. Jasper Troy gets a shot at the NXT Championship after winning the Legends Future Greats title. He'll get a shot coming up later on, coming up here. Like, we'll talk about it. Also, too, Ethan Page, North American Championship in this evolution involves Sean Legacy one-on-one North American title. As well as Josh Bridge and Herman team up against Sean Spears and Nico Vance tonight. We'll see that coming up as well. And two, we get to see who's Blake Monroe, better known as Mariah May on AEW. She makes her debut. We'll talk about Blake Monroe coming up. Get the Pro Wrestling Show started right here, right now. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. I'm your host, as always, Kendrick Dix here. Glad you can join us here on the Pro Wrestling Show. Join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling. We're on Connect. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe to us again. Tell a friend, call a friend. Hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing. All right. We get everything situated and started here on the Pro Wrestling Show. We'll talk about Blake Monroe a little bit later on in the show. The glamour has arrived. And we know who we mean. Shawn Michaels had to really pick from you know what. We'll talk about it coming up a little bit later on in the show. So let's get things started right here, right now. What's going on? Let's start with this. Oba Femi began ambush and attack right here. Oba Femi got attacked right in the car sheet window by Jasper Troy. Jasper Troy sending a message to Oba Femi by taking his lights out like he did. Oba Femi was a little bit hurt, but he still was going to finish championship no matter what. So we'll get to that coming up a little bit later. But we get to this. The North American Championship was on the line as Ethan Page set to defend the championship against Sean Legacy until Ricky Saints came out there and attacked his fellow AEW alumni, and they came out there and just beat the holy crap out of each other throughout the whole entire show. You can tell right here, Ricky Starks wants that belt back one way or another. Ricky Starks did what he needed to do by attacking Ethan Page and leaving Ethan Page right here out of the ring. So we saw how that went down earlier. But speaking of that, Sean Spears and his group, the Cunning, came out there to say why Izzy Dane did what she did to take Bruce and Denson out the group, saying that Bruce and Denson was the weak link. Bruce Denson really didn't care. He was just dressing a little bit way he wanted to dress, and he just didn't fit in the group. Well, the group was in action against Josh Bridges and Nakamura. Whatever that dude's name is right here. We get it wrong, but Josh Bridges was in the ring right here. They just went to battle, but they calling won their match tonight, and they did so right here with the vicious attack. However, that went down coming up. The calling. Lash Legend was in action as well. She defeated Ren Sinclair. Lash Legend wants to be next in line for a shot at the NXT Women's Championship, held by this one right here, JC Jane, who did a shocker 2 weeks ago, defeating um, Stephanie Vicure. Stephanie has dropped the title and went straight to Raw. She's part of the Raw roster, but JC Jane went and defended her championship. JC Jane, um, I guess JC Jane proving to the world that what's going on and what's going down. JC Jane keeps her championship intact. JC Jane um, did by winning over a newcomer that challenged her in the first championship defense. By the general manager Ava, I meant to say, informed JC that she's going to be wrestling at WWE Evolution for her women's champ. Her NXT women's title will be represented. NXT will be representing the Evolution. Well, wait for NXT to be representing the Evolution coming up. Well, the general manager announced these four matches right here that you see right here on your screen. That last legend will take on Keone Jordan. Zarya will take on Izzy Dane. Dia Hill will take on Miss Jada Parker. Lola Vice will take on Jordan Grace. So it'll be a fatal four-way elimination, two single matches, and then all four women will compete in a fatal four-way the Tuesday after, and then in that fatal four-way will determine who's next in line to be a shot at um at JC Jane in her women's championship. They was gonna get the shot coming up. So hey, we'll see if JC Jane can prove she got what it takes to keep her championship alive. Well, speaking of that, the glamour right here. Mariah May, better known now as Blake Monroe, came to NXT. Mariah May, still gonna call her Mariah May. I'm still used to that, but she changed it during her social media accounts right here. Mariah May wanted to make clear, make sure that she was gonna be represented. She did, but now she was gonna be calling herself Blake Monroe, like a throwback to Marilyn Monroe. And, her being Mariah May. I'm so used to her calling her Mariah May. Like we said, we'll see how this is going to all play out. But Blake Monroe next week will sign her NXT contract next Tuesday. So we'll see that coming up. Blake Monroe signs her NXT contract. So she's a part of the NXT roster coming from AEW now to WWE, being Mariah May now to being Blake Monroe, which a lot of people are not feeling that name, Lake Monroe. They rather said rather want her to be called Mariah Yet, but she didn't want that anyway. She wanted to be known as something different. So hey, the with the copyrights and stuff like that, basically the intellectual property and stuff probably played a big hand in that as well. But a lot of teams also going on too. Wesley's team won against the D'Angelo family, defeated Tony D'Angelo and his family tonight. Yeah, so tonight, even to the point that the Triple A stars was in the building. Dr. Wagner Jr. was in the building. Mr. Iguana was in the building. I think a lot of people are crazy about Mr. Iguana, this new gimmick. Anything that's gimmicky, that they would. So the Triple A stars coming out and about being represented as well as the TNA stars as well too. Right here, um, AJ Francis and Casey Navarro confronting Josh Briggs. AJ Francis said he came back and he's back uh, to do what he needed to do, and so he's back with a vengeance. And AJ Francis will be part of something next week. Him and KC, first class, will team up with the NXT, the TNA champion, NXT star Trick Williams to take on Elijah, Rich Jenner, and many more. So that's coming up to next week. A huge six-man tag team match on the way for next week. So look forward to seeing that as well. Also, too, right here, um, the Chase U trying to get themselves together. We saw how Chase U did tonight. So Chase U trying to, you know, I guess get themselves over. I guess in more ways than one. Well, we go over to right here. The main event of the night was right here. This was the main event. As you saw, Oba Femi defended the NXT Championship against Jasper Troy, the winner of the Legend Future Greats title. And Oba Femi really got banged up earlier. We told you Oba Femi got ambushed by Troy. Troy banged up Oba Femi by slamming him through the front of the car hood. And Obafemby took that slam with the glass on his back. So Obafemby came in a little injured as well. Obafemby did so to get himself together in more ways than one. But right here at the end, Obi Femi and Jasper had a seesaw match. Oba, uh, big dudes and stuff like that. Sorry, folks. Obi Femi pinned Josh Bridges with that sit up power bomb to get the 1, 2, 3. Oba Femi retained his NXT championship. We knew Josh Bridges was not going to win. Jasper Troy was not going to win in this status. Oba Femi did. Oba Femi retained his NXT championship. The ruler still rules the NXT universe in his yard. Oba Femi has done it. Oba Femi doing what he needed to do to get the victory. So that ends the NXT ring report. Let's move over to wrestling hot topics. Wrestling hot topics. We talk about this. Yesterday was the BET Awards. Don't forget, we'll have a viral special on the BET Awards, but for the wrestling related, Naomi and her husband, Jimmy Uso, the Uso brothers are not doing too well. Jay just lost his world championship merely 24 hours ago. You can watch that back on the Raw Ring Report. But Naomi, the only one with some achievements. Naomi with the Miss Money in the Bank briefcase. Naomi went through a ladder match to do so. But Naomi was part of the BET Awards along with her husband, Jimmy. Naomi and Jimmy representing WWE came out there to the Culture's Biggest Night, won the came out there and tore it up. BET Awards and Naomi and Jimmy. Like they had a good time at the BET Awards. So good for Naomi and Jimmy. Speaking of that, our crew sent this text right here. Our crew said that how you brought me back. Talking about the fans. They heard, they listened, they felt, and understood. Thank you, WWE, Triple H, and the man Nick Khan for allowing me to. Now I'm driving around the Truth Killing. So I told you, Truth came back after being fired for a week, and he resurged back at Money in the Bank. He did that little promo. He even did 24 hours ago, trying to shed himself by cutting his hair. So Truth is back, and Truth is back with some vengeance and stuff. So good for our Truth in his own style. Well, speaking of that, we know next week. This is the rundown for next week. Blake Monroe, better known as Mariah May, signs her contract. She'll be on NXT to sign a contract like they did on Ricky Saints and Ricky Starks. So look forward to seeing that as well. 4 matches as well been added. Five matches, but the four are going to be matches for Evolution in Atlanta. Which one of these four is going to be 8 women? It's going to go down to 4. So we see right here these 4 women, these 8 women will be competing for a shot to go to Atlanta to challenge JC Jane for the NXT Women's Championship. And also with a colossal 6-man tag team match as Trick Williams, the TNA champion, team up with AJ Francis and KC Navarro to take on a team of Elijah Jensen Brook and Azraeli in a huge 6-man tag team match. Looking forward to seeing that as well next week. So, I'm going to leave you with Oba Femi retaining the NXT championship over Jasper Troy like he did. Oba Femi means business. He means business in more ways than one. So, for me being Kendrick Dix saying so long, thanks for watching the Pro Wrestling Show.